Right now on PalmStreet, there's been over 1.5 million downloads of the PalmStreet app, and there are over 200,000 active users every month. That is a massive audience. This is my actual back office and my actual revenues and fees from quite some time now, okay? Everybody, welcome. I hope that you're doing well today. If we've not met before, my name is Adam Shira. I am the founder and the breeder behind Proper Royals ball pythons. I'm a ball python breeder here in Northfield, Minnesota, just south of the Twin Cities. So if we're meeting for the first time and you enjoy this content, I hope that you will check me out at properroyals.com, as well as you can follow right here on YouTube. Normally I'd be filming in the snake room space rather than the studio setup, but I've gotten a lot of questions about PalmStreet. There's a lot of buzz about PalmStreet. So I wanted to take time to walk through the process of first, me deciding to use PalmStreet, why I find it valuable. Secondly, and more importantly, how you too can start selling on PalmStreet. And we'll talk about some logistics and processes and maybe even a couple hacks and tips and that kind of thing. Stick around today. I hope that you'll enjoy it and find it valuable. I certainly have enjoyed the platform and I want to share that with you. PalmStreet is a live streaming selling platform. It started with plants, hence the name PalmStreet, but has expanded to really an incredible marketplace for handcrafted items, all the way to crystals and minerals, to now live animals and invertebrates in the reptile, aquatics, and I guess maybe we'd call them arachnid, but invertebrate marketplaces as well. It's garnered a lot of attention because I think that PalmStreet fits a need that existed out there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the reptile space now versus some of those other sectors. In the reptile space, we've had great platform options, but that platform option really was a static marketplace. You list an animal, you hope that it stands out, and you have to kind of fight through the crowd to get any kind of recognition or engagement. The problem is there aren't that many ways to do that. And the traditional platforms that we've used have really highlighted sort of really specialized, really high-end breeder-centric animals. Or you had to jump in live reptile expos that first people might not be that comfortable with. Some people just don't like interaction with big crowds of people. And I get that. The other part of it is a live expo setup requires quite a lot of investment to start up. You need your displays, you have to pay for tables, you need your tablecloths, your table coverings, your backdrop, lighting, all of that stuff to try and stand out. And those have been really the main two options that were professional. The other options are like Craigslist and maybe even some like questionable underground situations that aren't good for the animals. They're not healthy for the animals, and it's not ideal. There's always exceptions. There are people that do it well. There's people that don't do it well. PalmStreet provides a lane that requires very little initial investment, next to none. If you have a cell phone, that's your initial investment, basically. You could reach a massive audience. We're going to talk more about that in a moment of why I really like it. But it gives you a chance to jump in, to stand out. You could brand yourself digitally rather than having to buy the physical assets to brand yourself that you would have to at a live expo. The most exciting part of PalmStreet is it lets you personally connect in real time. In their classic auction settings, it's a live stream that you're doing on a vertical cell phone platform, and you're interacting in real time with your potential buyers. So you have your own marketplace that's not being flooded by ads for other people. Once they're in your room, they're your audience. This is a really great lane for you to be able to show off who you are and your own personality. I love being able to show off my space where I work in, the cleanliness and the care of my animals. You could get it looking pretty good with really a pretty minimal investment. I'll tell you that I am using a Canon camera here. I use a ring light here, and there's a backlight behind me. Otherwise, this is just my regular old reptile room that I work in and day out. It gives you a real opportunity to stand out in a variety of ways. Now, here's the icing on the cake. Right now on PalmStreet, there's been over 1.5 million downloads of the PalmStreet app, and there are over 200,000 active users every month. That is a massive audience. Granted, it's not all reptile people. If you imagine sort of PalmStreet as its own old school shopping mall, all those people are in the building. all those people can see your ad, can see your promo and branding if you brand your products or your show and you get that branding out in front of them. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can cross promote as well. PalmStreet has really, really innovative ways. Let me say that clearly. PalmStreet has really, really innovative ways to reach your customer base. There are really dynamic ways that you can reach your customers. They have ways to incentivize your customers to stay in your auctions and in your selling spaces. And it gives you so much versatility. And again, it's all just integrated right on your phone. Those are the reasons why I was wildly intrigued by PalmStreet. I've had really great success on PalmStreet. I sell animals, I move a lot of animals, and I found a really good niche for a certain market segment of animals that just work fantastic on PalmStreet. So if you're intrigued and you're interested in how you would get started selling on PalmStreet, the very first thing that you need to do is go to the PalmStreet.app website and download the app. That's the first thing that you do. And you're going to need to do it on your cell phone or an iOS type tablet or something like that. There's not a desktop interaction other than on the back end, and we'll get to that later. If you might have a little age on you like I do and you prefer things on the laptop, just bear with me. You're going to like it on the phone. It's actually quite simple. You're going to go there and you're going to download the app and you're going to create a username. You're going to get started using the app. You don't even have to put in a credit card. You don't have to anything. Just create a username, get started on the app. And then actually you could go check out the app. You can explore it and all that. If you've never interacted with the PalmStreet, I actually recommend you do that. Go watch a few auctions, go see what the marketplace looks like. One thing to mention before we get into how to apply, to be really clear, PalmStreet wants to work with somewhat established and somewhat experienced sellers. Some of that is because we want to deliver a really, really great product in the form of content and the people involved. The other half of it though, is that we're dealing with live animals. We have to make sure that we do this ethically. We have to make sure that we're representing our industry properly. And I'm so proud to say that PalmStreet is really, really committed to that. That's the reason that there is an application. You are going to be vetted. It's a very quick process. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to apply. And then you're going to have a response in a couple days' time from an actual human that actually reviews what you've submitted. And they're going to give you feedback. So even if the answer is not right now, they're going to give you feedback for what they're looking for. And generally what that is going to be reviews from sales. If you're not set up and you don't have any reviews of sales yet, that's okay. I actually recommend still going to apply because you're going to get your name kind of in the machine and you're going to get to know them, but you're also going to interact with a human who's going to talk you through some options. If you sell on Morph Market, you're going to have reviews there. If you have a Facebook business page with some reviews on it, there's there. If you've been selling and you just haven't worked to try to get people to give you reviews on a various platform, maybe reach out to some prior customers and ask them to do that. Okay. So don't be discouraged. You should be encouraged that they want to represent our industry so well and hold it in the highest esteem. So to apply, go to that link right down there in the description. It's the very first line in the description. Click on that. And when you do, it's going to take you to this apply now screen. Pretty easy. Just press the apply now button. I've got a second PalmStreet ID that I use, and I'll tell you why I use that later. It's a little bit of a hack for picture-in-picture dual streaming that you should stick around for. But I'm going to use that, and I'm going to actually go through the application process right here with you right now. Let's go properroyals@gmail.com. What's the URL to your business social media page? So I'll get that entered right here. If you're not aware, it should just be instagram.com/your handle on Instagram, but you can copy and paste from the desktop on that. I'll put my phone number. What's my first name? I'm going to tell them that. What's my last name? I'll tell them that. What is your PalmStreet username? This is where you're going to enter whatever you put in when you first downloaded the app. Okay. And my business name. I would say if you don't have a business website, maybe use another social media platform information there. And if you were referred by somebody, it's worthwhile dropping a name in if you were referred by somebody, okay? Next thing you're going to do is you're going to pick a category. And if you didn't believe me earlier when I said there's a whole lot of niche sectors, look at all these: plants, aquatics, trading cards, Labubu. I'm not even sure what that is, the little doll thing. I think that's what that is. We're going to choose reptiles and amphibians. And here's where they're going to ask where you can show off some of your animals. And look here, you can use YouTube, Instagram, Morph Market. The more variety and widespread sort of net that you're casting, I would put that in there. So if your Morph Market page is up to date with great pictures, use that. And same thing on the reviews, probably just put the link to your Morph Market store if you have the reviews there, or if you have them on Facebook or wherever it might be. And then here it's going to ask for the reptile seller verification process. Provide some images. So you're going to provide some images of your husbandry setup. This is a picture of an animal that I've uploaded, but I would take a nice picture of the facility or the racks and behind, or something that's showing off your husbandry and your care. All right. So all those glamour shots that we all like to take of our reptile rooms and whatnot, slap one of those on there. And we'll do the same thing here. You're going to provide a nice picture of some animals you can use. I'm sure that you've posted on Instagram or your Morph Market store or whatever it might be. We'll do that again. Then you're going to take a picture of yourself with your photo ID for identity verification. It is securely stored. And this is great. Check this out. Do you follow the shipping laws outlined on USARK? I'm telling you, they want to make sure that we are presenting ourselves in the very, very best light in our industry here. No wild caught animals. If you are importing animals, they've got to be quarantined. Let's hear about your selling experience. How much inventory do you have? Well, I have about 300 animals. How long have you been selling products? I've been selling for more than 3 years. Put in however long you have been, okay? How many packages do I ship per week on average? Let's say 2. And what's the average item value in US dollars? Let's say it's $250 because we like to do higher, but we also know how the market goes. And then here's a great option where you have an opportunity to tell them a little bit about yourself. Is there anything we should know about your business that you weren't able to share in this application? This is only a test for YouTube. And that's it. That's the application right there. You're going to hear back from them within 3 business days addressing the status of your seller application. Again, as I said at the front, it is human reviewed. These are actual people following actual standards that care about our industry, that have invested in our industry, that are reviewing these various applications. Okay. So the next thing, once you get applied, you're going to want to set up your shop. So when you're here you're going to land in your homepage here, and you're going to see all these different live things that people are doing as far as what they want to sell. And by the way, like, selling's the primary thing to do on PalmStreet, but you could do educational shows. You could do social shows. There's a whole social aspect to it as well. You can follow, subscribe to other people, all those things that we really like to do in a social setting in our media world. That's on here as well. So the first thing you're going to do is come down here to the bottom right on your screen and click profile. And it's going to bring up your home profile. And you'll see my ratings, my reviews, my sales. You also see, remember I was telling you there's the social aspect to it. You'll see the following and the number of followers as well, which is always kind of nice and gives you a reminder that you should be interacting with the community. Once you're on this page, right under schedule live, which we're going to get to in just a minute, is your shop. And right now, my shop is empty. I haven't had an auction in a little while, and I actually don't populate my full marketplace, which I should, by the way, because when people click on it, they're going to see your items pop right up. Okay. You're going to go create a new listing, and you can add the photos right away from your photo library. Let's say I was going to sell this female. Boom, the picture's right there. You can put the listing information as far as the title. We'll call her a leopard, pastel, lesser het clown. You could put a description in there. Pricing, let's say she's $1,000. In the description, I could say proven breeder, 3,500 grams. And you got your price. There's one item on your inventory. I'm not sure on the variants, but I only have one of them. There's no variation, so I'm not going to put anything on there for that. And then this shipping rate is kind of a neat feature here. $45 is my flat shipping rate across the United States. However, if you buy a second animal and I can fill the box, I only upcharge it $5. And I really only do that because I might have to pay a higher price due to weight, or I might need to increase the size of the box. So my cost does go up a little bit, even if we're packing things into a similar box size. But you can put that in the shipping rate, and it's going to let you do that. You could select that right here on this screen right here. Here on your shipping address, check this out. For reptiles, at least, I actually use the address of the FedEx hub. So I don't even have to put my personal address in. If you're not going to do that, I would recommend getting a PO box. You want to have keep your information private. And then you can select too. If you want to have people have a local pickup, the visibility, if you want to list it just privately, which I'm not sure why you would, or maybe you wanted to give a particular buyer a time to look at it without the whole place seeing it, you could do that. So now I have an item in my shop. You would do that for as many items as you like if you want to populate your marketplace. Then the other fun thing to do is actually to get down to the business of live selling and live streaming. And that's where the fun happens. So let's do that as well. You could populate your shop or schedule a live in any order that you want. You don't have to do it either way. There's hacks to both that really help, but really it's the same process. You're going to populate your shop, and if it's within an auction, it's going to ask you for a starting bid. I'm going to show you that all right here, but don't feel like you have to do one before the other. If you've got PalmStreet and you want to get right to the auction, get right to the auction. That's what I've done. If you got PalmStreet and you're like, man, I want a new marketplace and this is the only place I want to sell, great. Do that too. Populate your shop there as well. Okay. Let's go to schedule a live. You hit that big green button. Pretty self-explanatory. Do you notice also, like, this is really quick and integrated stuff, okay? Look, you could schedule a live show or a live purge. I'll tell you about that later. Live show, real-time video interactions. Let's do that. This is the bread and butter of what PalmStreet is known for. We're going to make it a public show. The private show would be if you just had, like, say I wanted to make a show that only the Patreon users could come bid and buy on. Like I say, there's a lot of neat features in a lot of different ways. If you had an exclusive offering for your best buyers in the past and you wanted to give them a first-time opportunity at some of the items, you could do that for that. We're going to go public. It has my logo that you can, that it's going to default to, but you've got to see some of the creative thumbnails. Make a really, really creative thumbnail that you're going to put on there. You can actually add a video too, if you see that. But let's do the event information. Look at this. It's pre-filled from the last one that I did. So if you do a lot of the same themes, it's helping you out already. 15 ball pythons for $20 starting bid. That was a good theme. I made some money on that. Let's do it again. Description, the title says it all. I need space and we're going to move some ball pythons. You could type in, again, whatever you'd like there. Let's pick a start time. I really don't have any strategy for what the start time should be, but you need to pick a date and a time. It's going to automatically know what your time zone is. Don't try and change it to Eastern or whatever. Just put it the time zone that you have. And then I've got my shipping rates on there. Again, the shipping address, just like from the shop that we just populated. I'm going to activate that people can pick up items in person as well. Additional details are rated. How are you going to talk on there? Is this something that kids need to be worried about? If it is, select R-rated. I would say stay within the community guidelines, how you should behave on PalmStreet, okay? Don't take the R-rated as permission for whatever craziness you're imagining. I think it's mostly language related, and of course, I want to reach the most sellers as possible, so I never select the R-rated. Check out this feature, multi-stream. You could stream right to your Facebook account as well, and if you do that, you're just going to need to pop in your Facebook information, and it's going to verify that. I think it's a great option on that. One thing, a little hack or a tip on there, if you do stream to Facebook, you want to, while you're streaming to Facebook, you want to really encourage people to be downloading the app because they can't buy from there. So if it's an entertainment stream or an educational stream, by all means, if you're selling, you want to get them off of Facebook over to PalmStreet, as far as I know right now. Maybe there's a plugin for Facebook, but I don't think so. Then you would just hit the schedule a live button. And now you see when you schedule the live, this is a really, really great feature. Such a different point of differentiation from any other platform that I've seen. It gives you a library of assets that you can download right away and start posting. And they're right in the nice format for all the popular platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that. And it's already populated with all the information, the date, the time. This is only a test, all that fun stuff you can download right away. You can also download it in the format of the picture that you uploaded, and you can go back and change all of those things as well if you were to edit later. I'm going to hit done. And now this is the live auction back office, so to speak. It's right on your phone. Okay. And now here's where you would add your animals. And this is where I was saying earlier, you can populate your shop or you can add your animals. I'm going to show you both ways. All right. On this screen on the right-hand side, there's a little menu there. You want to click the button add. If you only add them in the auction, people in the marketplace can't buy it. They're only going to be able to buy it at the auction price in the auction. Okay. So bear that in mind. All right. You'll see here at the top where it says create a listing from your shop. That's where you're going to go if you want to activate items that are in your shop. But let me just show you how fast it is to create a listing here for an auction. Let's do this girl. Listing title, Candino, proven breeder, female. Okay, so we got the genes, the sex in there. Listing type, you want to put that as an auction, not a buy it now. You can put it as a buy it now if you want to just sell it. It's also good for the purge, which we'll talk about in just a moment. I know it's scary to write $1, but I'm going to talk about it in a minute. I've had the wildest success starting things at $1, but we'll jump to that in the tips and tricks and sort of my experience and insight section here in a few minutes. My shipping rate, look at that. It's already populated because it knows what I like to do for shipping. You could choose to hide the listing price prior to the auction if you want. I don't do that. I like to attract people and they see a whole bunch of $1 starting prices. Hey, that's pretty fun. This is an interesting feature, and I'll talk more about it too as well in the tips and the tricks section. Setting the timer for 60 seconds, that seems like a really fast auction, but think about auctions. When do people bid? They bid in the last second. That's when the things happen. This is live streaming. Get it going. I do auctions as fast as 30 seconds if I want to burn through some snakes and keep people really engaged. You don't want them sitting around. They're just going to wait down to the 5 seconds in my experience. By and large, they'll jump in. But at $1, they're all going to jump in and they're all going to crank that price up and they're all going to start feeling that little dopamine hit, like they got a shot at this, right? If you could stomach it, start these things at $1 and see what happens, okay? Snipe mode. PalmStreet's going to protect you from people sniping, which is they wait to the last second, bid $1 higher than the last person, and they steal the auction at the last second. PalmStreet's going to extend the auction every time that there's a last second bid until nobody is bidding anymore. If you do not want that, you would turn this on. If you want that protection of them extending the auction, just leave it alone. You don't have to turn that on, okay? And then dynamic bidding, you can either allow PalmStreet to decide what the bid is going up, or you could set it for the exact amount that you want. If it's a high dollar item and you don't want to just deal in bids at $1 at a time, you could set a higher fixed increment. You're going to have to play around with that. I haven't really found it better or worse, but again, from like the really hard part to get your head around, start it low and make it easy. It's going to get more people bidding, and the more people bidding, the more excitement and the more you're going to drive the animal prices up. So I actually start things at $1 and I make the bidding increment $1. The trick is to get as many eyeballs and as many people in the room as you possibly can. Those are the ways that I do it. All right. And look right there, you're going to post it. And now it's populated in your auction. It's not in your shop. It's in your auction. It's ready to go. You would start your auction. You would set up your facility. Your auction's going to be done on your phone. Once your auction is live, you're going to click that. And it's going to you're going to see a little gavel icon, and you're going to click that icon, and it's going to start your auction. Okay. I don't want to go too crazy in how to do all the things because this video is really about getting started. But if you get up to that point that I just walked you through on all of those things, you're ready to sell, you're ready to populate your shop, and you're ready to populate your auctions and get in there and start making some money. Like any business, like any new platform, you need to get some reps in, you need to get some practice in, and you need to kind of learn your chops and learn what works. I think that the typical first login, first sign up, you're going to get like 6 auctions per month. I think that there's some higher tiers that cost some money that you can buy more auctions or that you can have less limitations on the number. Use some of those first 6 auctions to practice. You could remember I showed you could set the auction to private. Set it to private and don't share it with anybody and get in there and learn the mechanics and the logistics of it all. The interesting thing about PalmStreet is people can't go back and watch your content. Sometimes I wish that we were able to do that, but as of right now, the world's not going to see it. Set it to private, go play around in there, learn your logistics and your processes, and throw the thing in the trash. It's gone. Nobody else is going to see it. It's not like YouTube where you can go back and see my first videos that I do leave them up there though, because I like seeing where I've come from. I'm proud of that. That's a good start to get you started on the technical side of applying for selling on PalmStreet, setting up your username, then you're going to get approved. Then you can populate your shop. Make sure you're taking good pictures. Make sure, just like any other platform, you're showing your animals in the very, very best context that you can, as well as yourself. If you have things that people recognize you by, like maybe you wear a chef coat when you're in your YouTube studio for some crazy reason, do that. Like, you're going to brand yourself. People are going to learn you. You're going to be recognizable. Find a way to stand out. I'm not going to go through running a live right now, but I do want to tell you about it and some of the features that I love. Running a live is really where the creative process comes out, where PalmStreet shines the most. You really want to think about how you're going to interact with your customers, how you're going to interact with the camera. You want to get comfortable engaging the camera. Like, look, I'm making eye contact with the lens right now. Practice some of that. Get used to some of that. It takes time it's really kind of a weird thing to start with. Like, you're talking to a machine, but you got to be able to engage with it. Okay. The other thing is consider lighting and consider how you're going to show your animals to your audience. This is as much about entertainment as it is about selling. Good entertainment is going to lead to good selling. Good education is going to lead to good selling. For some really great ideas, check out people like Altitude Exotics. Brian has one of the best showcases. He showcases things on a TV behind him when he's talking in front of it. Primo setup, really, really great. Check out people like Snake Discovery that are doing their pet animal adoptions on PalmStreet now. There's so many creative ways. Go watch the community. Go interact with different sellers, even sellers that have nothing to do with reptiles. Go check them out. You're going to get so many creative ideas because there's people out there killing it. And why they're killing it is because they're making it not boring and they're making it very interactive. People are going to comment. Make sure you're commenting back to them, that you're addressing their questions. You got to keep the audience engaged, and it's going to take a little time and a little bit of practice for you. The other thing I would say is find ways to do cool things that engage people. You could change the timer length on your auctions. See what works better. Is it 30 seconds? Is it 60 seconds? Is it 2 minutes? Again, in my experience, you don't need it very long. I like the 60-second sweet spot because it gives me long enough to ID the animal and describe the animal and answer any urgent questions that people get in, and it gives the audience time to type those questions. 30 seconds I found limited me on that. Now, the bids really don't start rolling in until 15, 10, 5 seconds anyway. Really above that is kind of what you need for good interaction. Some other features are PalmStreet's going to help you in a lot of ways. You're going to be able to do giveaways on there, which are pretty cool. I'll have to do that in a different video on how you populate those, but essentially you put them in your shop just the same way. Mark it as a giveaway instead of an auction or a shop. You could do dual streams, which I'm going to talk about in some tips and tricks here in just a minute. This thing is called the after party. And what you could do is partner with another seller who is going to start a live immediately when yours ends. And you can invite people to the after party, which is sending them over to those other buyers. And if you're saying to yourself, why would I send my people over to those other buyers? Well, you would like the other buyer to reciprocate at some point, and you're going to get this really, really cool crossover. Don't forget what I said earlier, 1.5 million downloads of this platform. There's a lot of people on this platform. If somebody likes collecting artisanal, beautiful, creative, unique items or animals, they're probably going to have something in common with you. Don't worry about if it's the same thing. And honestly, the benefit of it not being the same thing may very well be that you get a new set of eyes and you bring a new customer in and you're on the ground floor of trust and brand trust and relationship with that new customer. I'm pretty excited about that. And that's some of the innovative stuff that PalmStreet's doing. Nobody else is doing that. How creative is that? It's so cool. Look, if you've made it this far and you're excited, just click down below, go apply to sell, go get your download on there. This part's going to get a little bit nerdy, but it's really important. It's one of the things that I really like. What happens? You're wildly successful. You sell 10 animals because you started at $1 and you got people very, very excited. What happens afterwards? I'm going to give you just a really brief rundown of the, again, really great features for sellers that makes this so much easier, and it's so integrated. I don't think I've used that word properly or enough throughout this show today. Integrated would be one of my best descriptions as far as describing the tools and the power of this platform. Let me show you. All right, check out this back office. After the sale, everything's organized for you. Can you imagine, like, the biggest thing that, or the worst thing that a small business or a startup entrepreneur could do is do too good of a job and then not be able to deliver on the scale of the sales. Think about that. You sell 20 animals and you got to get them out and shipped tomorrow. What are you going to do? PalmStreet's going to help you. So check out this back office. It's really, really handy. This is my actual back office and my actual revenues and fees from quite some time now, okay? Up here is all of the places that you can filter by. You can filter by your specific live. You could filter by specific weeks. With Reptiles, we have to watch the temperatures when we ship. In the middle of winter, I had to go back maybe 5-6 weeks sometimes because I'm in Minnesota and I'm not going to ship when it's 10 degrees out for the next month. You could filter all of that in here. You can export your orders. You could go through all of your shipping can be handled right through here. There's going to be integrations with really fantastic shipping companies that specialize in reptile shipping. You could get help right here. You can export your orders into a spreadsheet so that once you're actually packing them, you can have the physical sheet right there. It's a really cool tool to help you stay organized, to make sure that you deliver the best experience that you can to your buyers. So make sure you make use of that. There's no need during the live auction to be writing down who won what. It's all going to be in this dossier at the end of it after your sale. Okay. So rest easy on that. Really stay engaged with your audience because you're going to get this on the back end. All right. I don't want to deep dive into this because I'm going to make a video about this eventually, but let's get into how does PalmStreet make money? It's always a very fair question to ask whenever you enter into a business relationship. And this is a business relationship with a platform that cares about you and this industry. PalmStreet makes money very plainly. When you sell, PalmStreet makes money. It's a fee of the gross sale price. Okay. Some people can live with that. Some people want to hang on to that like it's an unfair fee. You're going to pay for everything. Consider the platform that you're already selling on. And maybe it's a free platform. Let's say that you're selling in stories or in posts on Instagram just through your brand magic. First, congratulations, because it's very, very hard to do. And I do respect that, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. That's only probably showing to your followers, which is a good curated following and who you should be showing it to. PalmStreet's going to help you reach so many more people. If you go to an expo to sell at, you're going to pay table fees, you're going to pay hotel fees, you're going to pay gas, you're going to eat while you're on the road, you're going to buy your display setups, your display backdrop, all that. Again, there's a time and a place for every sale. I'm not saying any of these other things aren't worthwhile. However, I think it's a very, very fair price. And my favorite leverage of PalmStreet is that unlike any other sales platform in our industry, you don't pay a penny up front. You only pay PalmStreet if you make money. Think about it. What other platform allows you to populate everything, use the product as much as you want? If you don't sell, you don't pay them. I'll let you do the thought process on that, okay? There are ways to reduce your fees if you get more than 100 people to set an alarm to come see you. I think we call it a notification. Sorry. If you get 100 people to set a notification, the fee is going to drop. The other thing is that PalmStreet's going to help you get an audience initially. They do a lot of coupons that are subsidized by PalmStreet. They don't cost you anything, that are going to incentivize people to come to your live and to come spend money with you. Okay, guys, if you've stuck through this long, you have really become engaged with this idea and this concept, and you're looking for a real payoff in content. This is your spot right here. I'm going to give you my top 5. I don't know. It's pro tips. It sounds so cheesy, or hacks. I'm going to give you my top 5 things that I think that are going to help you engage with your audience the best and give you the best chance for sales. We'll do deep dives in the future on these. You can also check out my Instagram reels for a lot of quick, I guess you can't call them quick deep dives, for quick overviews of some of these things. All right. Here's my top 5 things that you should do to increase your ability to sell or your chances to sell on PalmStreet. First things first, post your live 2 weeks prior to it actually happening. You want to have time to promote it and get the word out there. 2 weeks. Don't just post it and go do it tomorrow. Give yourself time to promote this thing. Okay. Second thing, use the media assets that they provide for you. They're professionally done. Why not have a pro design your promo materials? And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, okay? Use that promo material and post that across various platforms in those 2 weeks prior to your live. The third hack, use the dual stream feature. There's 2 things that I love the dual stream feature for. One is the way that it was designed and intended, and that is to bring another seller or PalmStreet user into your live that the audience can see. You can interact with them. They can be like a co-host with you. They could be like a producer with you. They could be showing off animals or buying you time if you need to step away from the camera. And it's exciting because you can have the banter going and a little bit of interaction, okay? The other thing that I love it for is that you can use it as a hack for a second camera so you can engage the audience while the audience looks at a very clear picture of your animal instead of holding it in front of your face, trying to dance in front of the camera with an animal. No. Let's get professional here. Use the dual stream hack on that. If you have questions on that hack, go to my Instagram. There's a reel about just doing that very thing. Cross-brand every way that you possibly can think of. Cross-brand across platforms using those media assets. Share other people's sales information because they're going to share yours as a reciprocal thank you. So build the community, interact with each other, cross-brand within the platform. Use that dual stream to cross-promote, but also use the after party, promo other people's lives. They're going to do the same thing for you. Be a reliable partner. Cross-brand. And if you bring somebody else on your show, they're going to tell their friends who are going to want to see them on your show. You're going to get new eyeballs, new audience. All right. My number 5 hint, trick, guidance, whatever you want to call it. This is a really, really valuable tool that we forget about in this day and age of social media where we think everything is entertainment. CRM. If you don't know what that means, that's customer relationship management. Use the back office for your own CRM programs. The back office, you can message prior buyers immediately. You can follow up with them. How's your animal doing? Hey, heads up, I got another auction coming up. Hey, you bought this animal. I've got something in this similar project you might be interested in. Good service is good selling, and managing customer relationships is the best service. It's right there for you in the back office. You need to use these tools. This is how you're going to sell and make money on PalmStreet. You should get into the game and start getting your chops down and start figuring out how you are going to maximize your opportunities on PalmStreet. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But I got to be honest, the service team at PalmStreet is phenomenal. And I'm not making this up. Right there, it's not been more than 10 minutes since I sent the application in. All right, maybe it's been 30 minutes. I got a direct text already. Saw you put in an application. We're reviewing it. We'll get back to you. And it's an actual text from a human. I know it's from a human because this is a person that I work with at PalmStreet. That's how fast they're seeing this and how fast they're getting back to people. They didn't know that I'm doing this video here to show this off. They were checking in to see if I needed approval for a second type of animal sale or a different brand or to expand my business. That's how quick that they are doing this stuff. It's a really great platform. I think that you should check it out. It's been a valuable tool for me. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope if you enjoyed the content or you want to see me in the future, if you want to hang out in the future, come follow me on Instagram, Facebook, check out properroyals.com. But most importantly, get started building your business on PalmStreet and come check out Proper Royals on PalmStreet. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time.